Welcome back to Osteo Talk, where we talk about bones and the animals of those bones. Today, we're going to be talking about the bones of the human skull. The human skull forms the foundation of our head and protects our brain. The skull may look like it is one solid bone, but it actually has many bones that articulate together with unique types of joints. There are 8 cranial bones and 14 additional bones that make up our skull, for a total of 22. The cranium is the part of the skull that forms the majority of our head and is composed of 8 bones. This includes the frontal bone here, the parietal bone on each side here, and a temporal bone also on each side here. The occipital bone, which is in the back, which is the back of the head here, and the ethmoid, which is, do this, right back down in there. It's kind of hard to show you that part, but we do what we can. And then also, the other bone that we have is the sphenoid bone. And that is the part at the back of the eye socket. Now, these bones articulate with each other via unique joints called sutures, which almost completely disables any movement at all, and the sutures are shown here, right, where all these parts join. We can focus or not. There we go. So we've got all this are the sutures, go all the way to the back, and fuse all those parts together. And there are 14 bones that form our face. These bones help to form the structure of our nose, cheeks, mouth, and jaw. The nose is composed of some relatively small bones. There are 2 nasal bones, one on each side, 2 nasal conchae, one on each side, and the vomer. And the vomer is part of the nasal septum and articulates with the sphenoid and ethmoid bones of the cranium. There are also 2 lacrimal bones that are technically bones that also help to form the structure of the nose, but they are also important structures to protect the lacrimal glands, which produce tears. And we have the nasal bone, the lacrimal bone, right up in here. We have our zygomatic, we have the maxilla, the upper part of the jaw. Of course, the mandible is the lower part. The middle nasal conchae of the ethmoid bone is down in here. Can't really see too much. And the inferior nasal concha is also the piece of bone you'll see in a lot of art, is that strip that runs down the middle. And the vomer, or no, actually that's the vomer, is the strip that runs down the middle. The inferior nasal conchae is off to the side on each end. The cheeks are formed by two zygomatic bones. These are the cheekbones. Sometimes they are referred to as zygomatic arches. And the zygomatic bones articulate with the maxilla. Temporal, frontal, and sphenoid bones on each side of the face. The mouth and jaw are formed by two palatine bones or maxilla bones, or two palatine bones and two maxilla bones, as we talked about, this side and this side. And the two palatine bones are the soft palate on the roof of your mouth, and help to form the mouth cavity. The two maxilla bones on the left, one on the left, one on the right, form the top jaw and provides an anchor to the upper teeth. The mandible forms the bottom jaw and anchors our bottom teeth. And the mandible forms a hinge joint with the temporal bones called the Temporomandibular Joints, as you see here. And get a better view of that. And that's down here. We can focus. The temporomandibular joints are, as you probably know them as, T and J. One on the left and one on the right. The TMJ can often become disordered and cause pain, trouble eating, and lockjaw, among other symptoms. Disordered TMJs sometimes require surgery to replace the joint, kind of like a knee or a hip joint replacement. The styloid process is a slender, pointed piece of bone just below the ear. It projects down and forward from the inferior surface of the temporal bone and serves as an anchor point for several muscles associated with the tongue and the larynx. Now, they're very fragile, and most skulls do not have them because they are very fragile and they break off. I do have a skull that does have one still attached. And I'll bring that one over. And we will take a peek at the styloid process, which is right here. It's this thin, very fragile bone right there. And most of the times you won't see them depicted in art and stuff like that because, well, they usually break off, you know. But that's that. Thanks for stopping by and spending Halloween with us. We appreciate it. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons. And stay spooky.